The future is here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nathan Sen. I'm the Festival Director of the Environmental Film Festival Australia, and I'd like to welcome you all to tonight's launch of our Out of This World Festival. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands upon which we're respectively gathered. For me, that's the people of the Kulin Nation. It's an absolute honour and privilege to live and work in a country with such a rich Indigenous history and culture, and I want to pay my respects to all elders past, present and emerging, and to any First Nations people who may be joining us tonight. Now, to formally welcome us to country, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Uncle Dave Wandin from the Wurundjeri Land Council.
Thank you, Nathan, and good evening, everybody. I actually want to pay my respects to the organisers of this forum tonight. I have been asked to come and welcome people onto country, and yet you may not be on the country of my ancestors. So my name is Uncle Dave Wandin, and I am an elder of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung Tribal Land Council, formerly one of the members of what we hear quite often of the Kulin Nations. When I do a welcome to country, many people expect me to talk in language. My job as an elder is not language, and unfortunately, language has been lost to me. So I will speak to you in English. But I will use 3 words that I know and I live by, and that is Waminjika, Wurundjeri, Biak, which simply means welcome to Wurundjeri country. And if you can learn one word and say Waminjika, if you live on Wurundjeri country, when you step outside your front door and you move across the landscape, to not only welcome other people, but to welcome the land that you walk on and say Waminjika. The welcome consists of many, many elements. And I don't know if I have time to explain it all to you today. But the official welcome, which it seems to be accepted universally across Australia, I pay my respects to my ancestors, my elders, both past and present. And I pay my respects to all other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who may be in this forum today. Their ancestors and their elders, both past and present, but also their elders emerging. I pay my respects to my Creator, who is represented for us as Wurundjeri by Bunjil, the wedge-tailed eagle. He is our Father, he is our Creator. For anybody who else is listening, that can be your God, your Buddha, your Muhammad, your Pope, whatever that may be. We all share a common belief that there is a greater power than us as humans on this land. But for us, the Wurundjeri people, Bunjil passed us one law. And if we cannot respect that one law, then all other laws that came down from that are irrelevant. And Bunjil's law, our Father, gave us one law, one rule. We must respect not only the physical manifestation of our mother, but also the spirit of our mother. As our physical mother raises us as we are children, nurtures us, heals us, and allows us to grow and then move onwards. We return that respect to our mother. And as she grows older, we then return the favour of looking after her. That's our physical mother. But our spiritual mother, or I will say spiritual mother, has been here for many, many, many millennia. And she is growing old. She has tried to look after us, and she is getting tired. We need to start thinking about our spiritual mother and care for her. And we need to do that through a process of understanding what she has done, what she is doing, and what she is telling us now. Just as our spiritual mother will grow up and she will scold you as a child, she will advise you as a teenager, she will lock you away and she will punish you. And as you become an adult, she will relinquish that control. Humanity has not been listening to Mother. Bunjil has been telling us this. The messages have been sent. And this is a fantastic forum of what we're listening to tonight. And we're going to see some films about understanding the environment. In my knowledge of culture, we cannot be a contributing part to our family or our community unless we first understand the intricacies of what we actually walk on, that we play on, that we work on, and where we gather our resources. They are something that has been set down that we don't actually have control over. We have influence. And we must respect that we don't know everything. Unless you can understand the intricacies of what lives in the soil, what swims in the waters, what exists in the air, what plants do, our tall manigum, our eucalypt forests, our shrubs that provide fruits, our grasses that provide wheat, and how they are not there for our use, but it is our moral responsibility as Aboriginal people, and it should be everyone's responsibility, that they contribute to a much broader context of what I call the circle of living knowledge. Because those grasses don't just feed us, they feed other animals. They feed bees, they feed reptiles. The soil provides homes for ants and for worms and for fungi, which science is only just starting to learn about. The trees provide habitat for the birds. It is Aboriginal people's responsibility to care not only for what we can take out of the land, but what we, as given the responsibility by Bunjil, to care for everything else that exists within an ecosystem. For too long, science, modern science, has been telling us that science can overcome all the obstacles. And I think we are realising now, and when we see the films tonight, that Mother Nature is saying, you think you know it all, but you actually don't. For 200 years here in Australia, and of course longer in other parts of the world, we have been relying on science to come up with solutions to the problems. And yet there is Indigenous knowledge deeply ingrained in the land, in the air, in the water, that we can actually learn from and adapt to the changing times that we have. I can talk for, I don't know how long. If you give me a half an hour, you give me 90 minutes, you give me 3 hours. I can talk about the Indigenous knowledge which is buried within the land and has been smothered by science, by overuse of resources. And I'm not going to blame anyone for that should be responsible for it. Because there's no one person, there's no one organisation that should be blamed. It is a collective agreement that us as humans think that we have dominance over the earth, and we do not. We only have a responsibility. You'll hear about Aboriginal people being traditional owners. That's the words that are used. But in actual fact, we are only traditional custodians. As a custodian, we have a moral and cultural responsibility to care not only for ourselves and our family, but to care for every living thing that lives wherever we work, walk, play, and as far as we can see, for the benefit of the biodiversity of this, not only this, my country on Wurundjeri, but for all other mobs that are around Australia. And if you ask the Indigenous peoples from all over the world, we know that we had this responsibility. This role has been taken away from us. Let's work together. The only way that I see as we move forward, and filming what you're going to see tonight and what we're going to talk about is absolutely fantastic. But it is only by saying it is not us and them, it is not black and white, it's not brown and brindle. It is only by walking country together that we can heal country together. Don't worry about what we're suffering as humanity in our sickness. When we heal country together, we can then start to heal ourselves, and it will come naturally. COVID that we're suffering through at the moment is a manifestation of saying nature, mother, spirit of our mother, has said, I have given you all the tools and you can use your science, but you have not been listening. So therefore, I'll give you something that you can't deal with until you are ready to actually wake up and realise that we cannot continue to live in the way that we have. We need to look towards a sustainable future, not for me, not for you that are here today, not for my grandchildren who are alive today, not for my great-grandchildren, but for the future generations, for hundreds of generations to come, just as Aboriginal people have looked after the land for 5,000 generations previous to what we experience today. Waminchika, Wurundjeri, Biak. Welcome to Wurundjeri country. I hope I haven't offended anybody, but please take this into consideration next time you walk out your front door. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uncle Dave. It's always so humbling to hear you speak, and I really appreciate sharing your wisdom and your very warm and generous welcome. Before we get underway tonight, I'd like to thank all our sponsors, the Inner North Community Foundation, Bendigo Bank, the High Commission of Canada, Bake Shop, Bush Heritage, the Brunswick Mechanics Institute, Polyglot Theatre, the Science Gallery and Melbourne University, Seed Mob, Mabu Mabu, and our food and beverage partner, Budgie Smugglers. 2020 has been a year of immense challenges and upheaval, and I really want to thank each of these organisations for their faith, support, and continued commitment to our festival. Without their contributions, we simply wouldn't have been able to respond to the pandemic as quickly or as effectively as we have, and the entire team is truly grateful to have been able to collaborate with them to present this edition of our festival. But now, on to Out of This World. This event, the first of 4 seasonal events that EFFA will be presenting over the next few months, is an edition in which we're seeking to celebrate those who are at the forefront of environmental progress, while also engaging our audiences in connective, participative, and hopefully surprising ways. Across 11 days, we'll be presenting films that celebrate the enduring power of love in the face of ecological disaster, as in tonight's film, films that look at worlds beyond our own and attempt to reimagine futuristic landscapes, like in Extraterrestrial Ecologies and The Other Side of Mars, and others that turn their view closer to home, investigating the way science and technology might allow us to live more ethically and sustain all life on Earth, as in Meet the Future. From a cooking workshop with Mabu Mabu to a special filmmaking masterclass with director Liz Marshall, we've got a host of special events that will not only entertain, but offer practical insights too, that should inspire us all to act in the best interest of the environment and try and enact positive environmental change. As we carefully navigate this bizarre new world shaped by the current pandemic and ongoing environmental collapse, EFFA's upcoming program is designed to address future challenges by uniting us all around a singular mission: to ignite creativity and discovery at the intersections of science, technology, philosophy, and environmental concern. We hope that through this event, a virtual social space emerges where we can collectively develop ideas, imagine the future, and rethink our relationships with our ecology and the Earth. As I'm sure you can imagine, faced with all the difficulties that have come with COVID-19, our amazing team has had to overcome innumerable challenges to pull this program together. To pivot so quickly to online delivery and develop an event of this caliber is nothing short of miraculous. What we're about to present is a testament to their passion, engagement, hard work, and creativity. And I want to thank each and every one of them from the bottom of my heart for all that they've contributed to the festival. This year, our team has grown to over 40 volunteers, and while all of them deserve a mention here, I'd like to specifically thank Gabriella Bryden, Luke Forsyth, Freya Gillard, Jennifer McAuliffe, Taylor Mitchell, Alexandra Pritchard, and Ashley Sang for all their amazing work in leading the festival through such a challenging period. I'd also like to specifically thank our wonderful impact team, led by Carolyn San and featuring Bo DeWater, Cora Davini, Julia Fiore, Tish King, Edwina Landale, and Lizzie Turner, who have all worked so tirelessly and with such immense passion to make Out of This World possible. On behalf of the entire team, I wish you a wonderful opening night, and I hope our paths will cross again digitally across the festival. Thank you.